The official review embargo is still out for The Rise of Skywalker, but we do have some first thoughts being released by some of the Twitterati blue checkmarks. This one here was the first one that stuck in my mind. It's from Elizabeth Banks. She's back out and about talking after the dumpster fire of her film Charlie's Angels. No spoilers. I cried, and The Rise of Skywalker has the best no-sex love scene I've seen in a long while. I'm taking it from, she said she cried, she was crying for joy, so I'm going to take that as an endorsement from Elizabeth Banks. Elizabeth Banks loves The Rise of Skywalker. Another shill one here from Mark Ellis. I'm emotional, overwhelmed, surprised, shocked, and stunned. More than anything, I'm happy. Thanks for coming through one more time. One more time. That kind of means that the last film was good as well. Thanks for coming through one more time. Star Wars hashtag The Rise of Skywalker. We've got one from Eric Davis. Epic. All of it. The Rise of Skywalker is a terrific finale that is just stuffed with so much of everything. Action, adventure, answers. Well, we shall see. We'll see what kind of answers we actually get. Humour, is there a your mama joke here? Heart, love, and grit. I spent the entire second half with tears in my eyes. A wonderful way to end the Skywalker story. The Skywalker story ended in 1983. I saw that film, The Return of the Jedi, but now we're getting told that we're going to re-end the Skywalker saga with this film. Angelique Jackson says, all I'll say about Rise of Skywalker is that I cried 3 times. Now, what is going on with all the crying here? Did anyone cry at any of the other Star Wars movies? Is this because the Force is female? Is this what's happening here? That crying is a sign of a quality Star Wars movie? I mean, I felt a little bit like crying about what happened in the previous film, in The Last Jedi, but not tears of joy. But anyway, she says, which seems fitting for the end of the third trilogy, in which I've devoted so much of my time. She's devoted a lot of her time to the third trilogy? Or all the trilogies. It was everything and nothing that I expected. Ugh. So we don't just get a whole pile of shills, we get some mixed reviews as well. This one here is from Comingsoonnet by Mandatory. Well, Star Wars Rise of Skywalker is a definitive end to the Skywalker saga and a mixed bag. There are moments of inventiveness and crowd-pleasing, but much of it is forced. If you thought Game of Thrones was rushed at the end, Leia's send-off doesn't work, but Kylo's arc does. Well, that's interesting since it's got a bit of criticism but does give a little bit of praise there for what happens with Kylo. Mike Ryan says, Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker is certainly the most convoluted Star Wars. There's a lot I liked, but the first half gets so bogged down with exposition and new plots and doodads and beacons and transmitters, it feels like it should have been 3 movies on its own. Well, we could have gotten rid of the middle film, maybe. Adam B. Very says, I'm going to need a minute to digest Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker. There's so much movie in this movie, but its best moments are the quietest and most human, giving this more of a think, though. So that seems like he's got a few questions, or maybe he's just hedging his bets and doesn't want to seem like a shill when the real reviews come out. Erik Eisenberg says, there is good in Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker, but there is more that is disappointing. There are a number of choices that just don't track, fan service that doesn't work, and ignored details that are missed. I'm bummed. So all in all, most of the blue checkmark reviews on Twitter are overwhelmingly positive. That is completely to be expected. The review embargo will be dropped sometime soon-ish, but it's the same people that will have the reviews up, so those reviews are probably going to still be overwhelmingly positive as well. You do have to hunt around a little bit to find some that are saying it's a mixed bag and so on. There's not really any overwhelmingly negative reviews yet, but that's completely to be expected. Probably about 12 hours time, I think, is when the first people just from a general audience will have seen the movie, so maybe we'll get some more honest reactions there. But having said that, anybody that sees the film at its earliest probably also skews towards liking the movie more so than not. So I imagine first reactions will probably be a bit more positive than we'll get in about 24 hours time. So maybe in about a day's time we'll start to get some reviews maybe that can be trusted a little bit more. Although what's released so far isn't supposed to contain any spoilers, there are a few little details here that have perhaps been spoiled. Elizabeth Banks fired it all off first and explicitly said no spoilers, but we've probably got Reylo happening, we've got Kylo Ren and Rey getting it on, as a lot of the shipping people would like. Bit weird that that's the kind of fan service that J.J. Abrams has went for, but I'm assuming that's what's happened here. Rey has seduced Kylo Ren back to the good side. It's possible that it happens to be someone else. I really doubt it, but I guess it would be hilarious if Emperor Palpatine and Rose Tico get it on. That would be pretty funny. I wouldn't say it would make the film good, but it would be subverting my expectations if we get a love scene with Emperor Palpatine and Rose Tico. So we'll have to wait a little bit longer to find out, is this the worst Star Wars movie ever made? I think it's going to be difficult for this to be worse than The Last Jedi. That is a very low bar for me. I think it probably will have to be better than The Last Jedi. There was another Star Wars movie, I think it was called Caravan of Courage. It was an atrocious thing about Ewoks. That actually probably is the worst Star Wars movie ever made. It's probably is worse than The Last Jedi. But Star Wars trilogy films, will this be better than The Last Jedi? I hope it will, but that is still a very low bar for me for it to be better than a film I don't really like at all. Thanks for listening, and I'll catch you next time.